President Joe Biden will debate Donald Trump. And,
Now,
it's on CNN tonight.
With Fake Tapper. He's so fake.
Fake Tapper and Dana tries to bash me.
Is it both of them together?
No, yeah, it is both of them together. But he's also gonna. I mean, look, it's CNN. It's rigged. It's all set up. It's Jake Tapper and Dan.
It's like Laura never loses with Ebro. That's how he's going into tonight.
Yeah,
the game's fake.
Knows he's going into hostile territory. By the way, no audience is allowed, and they'll be muting mics.
Right.
The no audience thing is fascinating to me. Fascinating.
I know.
Why?
Because Trump gets high off the live crowd. He gets high off that reaction when he says something and they ooh and ah. Instead, it's going to be in front of two moderators who don't really like him. So it's just going to be interesting. Now that could go wrong, too. That could make it look like he's being hated on, and people could come out being like, yo, man, Trump didn't get a fair shake. So in some ways, he's crazy like a fox, bro. He knows what he's doing. He knows this setup, in theory, should be bad for him. But his people will spin it as good for him.
For sure.
We talked earlier about politics in this nation, okay, guys? This is a presidential debate. They will be asked specific questions that should elicit a specific response about their position on whatever the question is, right?
I see.
Either he can answer the questions or he can't. That's what you should be looking for tonight.
That's it. To me, it just leaves room for less distractions.
It's not a DJ battle. It's not. It's not. Smack DVD. It's none of that.
No, Laura, you are right. Laura, you're right. It does leave room for no distractions.
That's
that part,
straight to the point.
Listen, I respect CNN in this moment for attempting to class up our nation by removing the crowd and having the mute button. Like, it is an attempt to make us look better. It really is. I'm curious to see how it gets ruined and ends up in shambles.
Yeah, let's see, because it could be a disaster,
Now, do you
but we
guys
shall
think that
see.
the MAGA maniacs, the maggots, will be outside?
Of course.
Outside where?
Outside the venue.
Where is it? I don't remember where it is. Where is it?
I don't know where it is.
I think it's in Georgia.
Oh, man.
Of course they are.
They're going to be outside having a parade. They're going to have all the flags, all the Confederate flags. They're going to have all the flags.
Oh, yeah, because it's at CNN. Yo, I saw a thing moving around yesterday that they're having the debate in the actual same studio where Dusty Rhodes used to cut promos and wrestle, by the
way. Will this debate help you make your presidential decision?
Right. Will it sway your opinion?
So we're
like, meaning you're going for Trump and Biden could win you over?
Yeah.
Or vice versa?
Or vice versa.
So
I
we're
want to
looking.
meet you. If you're that person, I want to meet
So is there anyone out there listening who is actually legitimately on the fence still?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen enough yet.
The terrible thing about
you haven't seen enough yet.
This has been going on for 8 years or so, but you don't know.
Right. Both of them have done 4 years. You're not sure.
Do you think we could find one person who could legitimately say that?
The problem we have with our phone lines is we can't legitimately verify.
We can't vet. No,
we can't verify the caller, so anybody can call and say whatever they want. But if the debate tonight is able to sway your opinion on either candidate, that's very telling and very interesting. Laura, where are you at? Shout out to Mario the Poet that basically he tweeted, and said Joe Biden could force Kamala Harris to carry him out on her back. He could denounce Tupac and Beyonce and shove a handful of Adderall down his throat. And I'm still voting for Joe Biden.
Right. Well, and that's where most people are at, I think.
They've already chosen.
They've a long time ago.
I think so, too. I think people are already chosen for
But
the
Joe
most part.
Biden's son is a criminal. His laptop.
Don't forget the laptop.
So this is
Hunter Biden's laptop.
So this is a verbal exercise for the candidates because nothing they say is going to make.
Honestly, I think it's a ratings grab for CNN.
Yeah,
if we're being honest,
it's a reality show.
CNN's been going through some turmoil the last few years, as we all know, and this actually helps them reestablish themselves as a reputable, or could maybe establish themselves as somewhat a reputable news outlet.
Right. Yeah. And you know, I mean, listen, in theory, it's a good look for the candidates. In theory.
And who called? Joe Biden called Trump out, or Trump called Joe Biden out? How did it go?
Biden, I think, called Trump out because Trump had said he didn't want to do any debates.
Right.
So Biden was like, "Really, you're scared to talk? All right," and kind of dissed him. And here we are.
King Lou reminding us that last year CNN gave Trump his own town hall last year. Let's go to Rich on line 1, who says he's up in the air right now.
Okay.
Rich, you're up in the air with your vote right now. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. And are you in between Trump and Biden? What's your scenario here?
I'm actually, I feel like there's not a lot to choose from, to be honest, because, I mean, everybody else feels that this electoral vote, not the electoral vote, everybody feels that, you get to choose the president when you don't. It's the electoral vote that actually does that piece. So I really want to go for Robert Kennedy, to be honest with you.
RFK Jr.
What is it about him that you like? What are some of the policies that speak to you that RFK Jr. stands for?
I mean, he speaks the truth. But when I say that, he talks about reforming the education system, talking about how it's not actual. He talks about the big pharma and how big pharma needs to be regulated, how the advertising is completely different than any other country. Understanding exactly what the politics is in the U.S. and how we actually look at certain things.
And so my question my next question for you is, because we know those things, do you feel like, because here's the other part, and you sound like a very informed person. The other part of the presidential candidate is actually getting in there and being able to accomplish or untangle or push forward whatever it is that they're talking about. You feel like he would get there and be able to accomplish that?
I think he's going to have some. I do think he'll be able to accomplish some of it. He'll start the process, and I believe that once we can see that he's different and that he's opening up a lot of information to the public people, that we're going to have the opportunity to make a decision.
And you think that he will be able to get the House and the Senate on board with him to actually push things forward?
I mean, at that point, honestly, I think that's going to be difficult. I don't think a lot of people may like him on both sides at all. But when the people start seeing what he needs and getting the support of the public people, I think we could start changing it probably by year 3, year 4. Hopefully we can get him elected on the second term. The first term is the first 2 years. He's going to have to dismantle a lot of policies that were done prior, right? So Biden coming in, he's dealing with he dealt with a lot of stuff that Trump had to deal was putting in place, and he's going to have to fix some of the stuff that Biden didn't actually correct, and then going through that process, I think we will be exposed to a lot of information. And so I'm going for Robert Kennedy if I had the choice, but I think this is like the lesser of two evils if we have to pick.
Got it. Thanks for your call, Rich.
I appreciate the thoughts, man.
I do too.
Nope.
I think let's go to
he's going to be holding RFK is going to be holding his own debate tonight too.
Oh, he is?
You guys,
he's gonna be.
You guys, I loved Rich. I loved what he was articulating. RFK Jr. doesn't even have 2%.
Wow.
Not even 2.
But just saying he will be for people.
No, it's cool. It's awesome. It's awesome.
He's in post debate.
And what I wanted to really compliment Rich on is how much he cares about the United States. Right?
Yeah, he cares.
Like he cared. Like people who are doing this kind of work, they really care. And I think they should, they really want this thing to figure out. I think one of the reasons, we still have a two-party system, not only because of the money aspect that's involved in politics, but the truth of the matter is the amount of things or the amount of human beings and what they represent that you have to get on the same page to actually get something done, to actually move things forward, becomes the biggest hurdle. Which is why a lot of presidents can't even get momentum until they're in their second term. So when they go in that first term and everything, they haven't been able to get anything done that they promised. Well, they haven't even been able to do enough favors for this side and that side and figure out how to get people aligned. So on their, that's why Obama's big thing at the end was health care. He took him 6 years to get to that. Let's go to Jasmine, who's on the fence. We were looking for people who are on the fence, and tonight's debate on CNN, Biden and Trump, could actually sway their vote. Jasmine, good morning. Jasmine?
Yes.
Hey, you're on. Ebro, Lauren, Rosenberg, good morning.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I listen to you guys every morning.
Thank you, Jasmine, for the support.
Gurus and you've helped me.
So you say you're still on the fence. You might go Biden, you might go Trump. Talk to us. Tonight's the debate.
Take us through it.
Yeah, explain.
Actually, I'm someone who's like, I have 2 masters, social work, criminal justice. So I've always been like out there protesting, gung-ho on every little issue. And I've always been advocating for people to vote, pushing people in my Arab Muslim community to vote. And I think this is a year I might either sit it out or I don't know what I want to write. I don't think I can get myself to write either Biden or Trump. And I think like the issue with America right now is everything is just black and white. It's either you're Democrat or Republican. And there's other parties out here that have like promising candidates, like the Socialist Party with Claudia de la Cruz, who's a 40-something-year-old Dominican from the Bronx. You know, I think people like should explore other options that are a bit more relatable and close to home. Than why do we have to pick from 2 evils?
Well, I agree with you. I wish it wasn't the case. But you're aware that just the math of it all, the way the system is set up. If we're just talking about the popular vote, I think Biden got 77 million votes and Trump got 70. Was that the last run at it, if I recall the numbers? Mm-hmm. And the GOP, the Republicans, their game is to try to shave off some of that 77 and get it to.
Yeah, and I think they're going to succeed. I know, like, a vote less for Biden is technically a vote more for Trump because Trump fans are definitely going to be out there. But I don't think witnessing everything Biden has been involved in, I don't think I can get myself to write his name on a ballot, and I don't think I can advocate for my community.
And is that specifically
write his name on the ballot?
That's specifically over the Israel controversy and the war and the genocide and all of the things.
Yeah, and just like a lot of promises he's made that he hasn't lived up to. The fact that he just, every time I see him speak, he just looks like a puppet, and I don't know who the puppet master is. And
all right, well,
yeah.
What are some of the promises that really truly like that you feel he hasn't fulfilled?
Well, you have, he made a lot of healthcare student loan forgiveness promises, and allegedly he's getting all this pushback that he can't do anything about.
Ma'am, I know 3 people who got their student loans cleared. There's people who are getting their student loans cleared. He's cut a ton of student loans, so you can't give me that.
Well, maybe it hasn't struck her life, Laura Stiles. And
well, she's saying that
just because
she's saying that it's not happening.
Just because insulin prices are down to record lows, yes, he wasn't able to accomplish anything, Laura Stiles. How dare you?
Well, are you aware of that, though? Just curious. Are you aware of that? It's specifically, yeah, that's a huge thing with the insulin prices.
Yeah.
Were you aware?
I'm sure some people did. Like you said, get their student loans forgiven, and I'm sure there is other things happening, but I don't know if I can credit that to him directly.
Well, then, but if you were willing to credit him with not doing it, right, why would you not credit him with doing it? You got to pick one. You got to pick one.
Doesn't like Biden, guys,
because he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. Like he just kind of like exists. Like Kamala Harris, she kind of exists. I haven't. When she does open her mouth, she talks a whole lot of ish, and otherwise she's radio silence, and you don't hear of her.
Well, she's vice president. She's not the president.
I've never really heard from the vice president that much.
The vice presidents don't vary. I mean, how much did Biden speak when he was vice president? Like, that's just not what vice presidents do.
I think, guys, I think I think it's really the Gaza issue, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And I understand that, but I just feel like
a big one. Can't forget. Yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Well, thank you for your phone call, Jasmine. Appreciate you.
I saw, Rasan just said he lost the Muslim community. I wonder, do people pay attention? Because, if Trump gets in office, how do you think that will go?
No,
because he's been very open about how he feels.
Laura Ebro.
Literally.
Laura Ebro, people, no, I'm going to say it nicer ways. Positive P.
Positive P, baby.
Positive P. Here we go.
Positive P. Come on, Positive P.
Positive vibes, sending P's way.
Okay, so I understand that it is really upsetting for people to see things happening at this moment that they disagree with. Mm-hmm. And you would like Biden to take a harder stance against Israel and to cut off all funding. Donald Trump will have an open checkbook for this war and will continue it. In fact, many people believe that Netanyahu's goal is to stay in office long enough to make it till Trump's there so he can basically run wild.
Trump's son-in-law is in business already, taking Gaza's beaches and turning them into high-rises. Jared Kushner and them is in there, baby.
Oh, and then, by the way, let's forget about specifically this issue, because I'm sorry, guys, this isn't a religious issue. I know it's being made into a religious issue. Israel-Palestine, guys, we're all lining up on teams, Jews and Muslims. This is a specific thing between these communities, okay, that has been happening for a long time. That's messed up.
Positive P, where you
Positive P, sorry.
Positive P.
Sorry, Donald Trump's people and the people he aligns with, not only will they hand a blank check to Israel, they're outright Islamophobes and have been anchoring that movement at least since 2001. Like, you're talking about these are people who want people
harder. They're white supremacists.
Bro. They want people. They want to have. Donald Trump wants to have the largest deportation on day one of his presidency. If you think that's just going to be Mexican people who aren't exactly like you, I got another thing coming. So I understand people being frustrated that the Biden administration has not done enough. I've been disappointed with the Biden administration. But to not vote for them is to choose someone who's so much worse the other way that I'm confused as to why you think that's a better choice.
People have their emotions and their convictions, and they get lost in the sauce. And also people have short-term memory, recent history bias, which is, you know what I mean? And they don't really look at the macro view of things. So, you're going to, there's definitely people in this moment right now, because they, just like we heard from Jasmine, she's looking at what Biden was able to accomplish in the last 4 years. I didn't ask her how old she was or how many times she had voted before. But some of us, like myself, that have been voting since I was 18 years old and have seen the wins, the losses, all the intricacies of it all, and actually have been following this since Clinton was in office, right? All of the economic ups, all the downs, how they plot and plan the whole thing. It's ran like a business. Right? This is a business, and you are voting for the chief executive officer of the biggest business on planet Earth that we live in, which is the United States of America. And so when Rosenberg says it's not a religious issue, this is actually two communities beefing over in an area that they call Israel, right? And that's been going on for 80 years? 80?
At minimum, yeah.
Minimum, right? Our interest as the United States aligns with who is going to make us the most money over there. How are we going to stay in there to keep an eye on Iran, Iraq, the Saudis, Turkey, how we're going to control the Suez Canal and the flow of trade that comes right in there, through that waterway. That's what the business is.
But isn't there also a basic human part? If you do want to look at it from a human thing, and this is the part that I guess maybe people just view this differently.
Of course.
Joe Biden may be a lot of things, But I actually believe that the idea of innocent children being killed saddens him. It is not what he wants. I truly believe that. And I truly believe
but other people
Donald Trump does not. Okay, but if you've watched the way Donald Trump has conducted himself publicly for his entire adult life, he has never shown care for any group ever. Except for the group that has supported him and has allowed him to, bail him out of jail or buy his T-shirts or whatever. The whole grift, that's how his grift started. You guys don't remember this. The only reason we're talking about Donald Trump is because when he came out and questioned whether or not Barack Obama was American, all the racists said, ooh, we like this Donald Trump. And he went, ooh, are these my people? And that's how we got shirts. That's how we got here. It was always based on the fact that he basically was just a racist in that moment.
But here's the other side. The other side is because Trump does not stand for anything, special interest groups know they can pay him to stand for what they want because he's for sale.
Right.
That's very important for people to understand, is that sometimes people, because we've talked about one-issue voters on this program, and people not being aware and informed, they have their singular issue, like we just heard from a couple of callers. Mm-hmm. They want someone who doesn't stand for anything except for what they want them to stand for.
That's the majority of the voters. Yeah. But in Rosenberg, to your point, yeah, Biden may care, but people feel like he's a puppet. And they feel like maybe Trump is aggressive.
And it doesn't help that when he stands there, it looks like somebody needs to hit the reset button.
So if he does,
and people are too lazy. So and people are too lazy to do the research on the work that's already been done.
Yeah, people are not doing that.
So, Shawnee, I hear your point. I hear your point. But I would say, if you were to say Biden is a, quote, puppet, and Trump is aggressive, that he's aggressive, he just does what he wants, right? No filter. People love no filter. Right. I would say that I trust the people who Biden has put in. Like, I just got back from the White House literally a week ago.
Oh, look at you! You're paid.
Where I was in, where I went for free on my own dime because
that's what you're saying.
Because our friend Erica Ford, who's been in the community in Queens since the 80s, since 1987, fighting against gun violence, has been given a seat at the table with an office for gun violence prevention. Mm-hmm. This is just one small example. I'm not saying the Biden administration's perfect, obviously. I'm not saying that they don't care about money. Obviously, they do. But they are doing certain things that are of actual interest to people that we care about. And those people will not be represented in an administration that has countless people directly tied to white supremacy and neo-Nazi groups. Literally, like they're signed up to those groups. They're part of neo-Nazi groups. So, yeah, I'm going to lean towards the puppet guy, I guess, who has people around him who invite people like Erica Ford to come to the White House to work on gun violence prevention. Like, yeah, if I have to choose.
By the way, gave him an office. Not just a seat at the table.
An office.
There's an office with a budget and humans actually getting money to communities so that they can have support against the flow of guns coming from states that are going to vote for Donald Trump.
Oh, no, and don't forget,
have gun laws, and that's why you have guns on the street ad nauseum the way you have it.
And don't ever forget about who the NRA wants to win this election.
Hello.
Right.
We talked about money. We talked about power in Washington, guys. That National Rifle Association. You want to talk about the money with guns. You don't think any of those guns that are being created and supported end up in the community?
Not only that, but who Putin wants to win and who Netanyahu wants to win.
Yeah, every bad the axis of evil is lined up. They're watching the debate with one man in mind tonight.
Well, because he's for sale. And they know they can co-opt him, and they know they can pump money.
Wait, so you're saying it's Netanyahu, Putin,
yes,
and Amber Rose?
That's right.
I can't take it. I can't take it.